The WhichEV team has sent me to hell. That's hell in Norway. I'm here because this is the first ever all-electric World Rallycross Championship. World Rallycross has gone all-electric from now forwards. They have two series. They had a support series before. Now the main series is all-electric. We're going to talk to the race organisers. We're going to talk to some of the drivers. We're going to talk to the technical people behind the drivetrains, and we're going to learn all about this new all-electric racing series. Before we start with that though, if you do like this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Well, the initial discussions between FIA and the former promoter have taken place in 2018 to finally go electric in 2020. That unfortunately didn't happen. We took over as a promoter in 2021 with a clear sign to go electric in 2022, and here we are now finally, and very happy to go electric in hell in 2022. Yeah, our original plan was to start in Höljes at the beginning of July. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We were faced with the global supply chain issues, the teams to get the parts ready, and we always wanted to make sure to have the right product for the fans and have as many cars as possible. So then we made the decision to start now here in hell in the middle of August. We had some testing last weekend in Sweden in Höljes, and that went pretty well. So we're very excited about the race coming up tomorrow. Actually on Sunday one of the drivers hit the lap record, and again we're still in the testing phase, so that's very promising. We did first tests were last year with the mule car from Kreisel in Austria, and I still remember Andreas Mikkelsen driving that car, stepping out of the car with a big smile, saying like he can't remember when he was actually last time smiling while accelerating, and I think that says it all. This technology is brilliant, and the drivers love it.
Our battery is a special lightweight lithium-ion battery with a special carbon housing for our motorsport projects. We have 52 kilowatt hours of capacity, and it's about 330 kilograms of weight. That makes some very low center of gravity possible for the race cars, which is a very important point to get the cars fast. We have up to 500 kilowatt of power, and we can reach in with up to 50 kilowatt. Yet the teams have a lot of different chassis, and it's not easy to fit the battery to all the different chassis. But the teams made really a perfect job to implement our battery in different chassis. We want to show everybody we can go with 500 kilowatt of power on the racetrack, and afterwards we can do it fast charging and race again after just a few minutes. I think the power is really impressive inside the car. All the drivers, they have a lot of experience in rallycross in fast cars, but they are all impressed of the acceleration and of the power of the car. We are using our technology in all our projects. For example, we're doing also produce batteries for some high performance speedboats, like for X-Shore. In there is a Kreisel battery pack. It's a standard battery pack of Kreisel, and they're working successfully to get a really fast boat with it. I think the best thing of the Kreisel system is the direct cooling to get the performance high in the battery. Electric vehicles and electric cars are very powerful, but it's important to cool down the battery again, because if you get a hot battery, it will be limited by the power. And for sure, when you can cool down the battery directly on the cell with a fluid, it's the best way to cool the cell. And I think that's very important to get a very successful system.
Well, for this season we go for 6 races. We stay in Europe, go from here now to Riga, then to Montenegro in Portugal, and goes to Spa, the famous Spa-Francorchamps Formula 1 track, go to Barcelona and finish our season at Nürburgring in Germany, and next year we plan about 10 races on 3 different continents. Well, we believe that this format is perfect for manufacturers. It's a kind of showcase, because this is really short tracks and you can really go flat out, so the manufacturers can really show what their cars can do, and I think that's very appealing at the end for the customers to buy the cars. Well, this is a brand new car, and it's new for everybody. We have a system from Kreisel, an electric system that is same for everybody, but everything else is different, and it's super fast. It's based on a Polo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Based on a Polo R5 rally car, let's say. The chassis is from that.
We did the retrofit approach. So we took the car that we know, that we took the car that we're familiar with, and then we fit the battery and the two electric engines. It basically goes in from underneath, so we had to do a lot of adjustments on the floor. But generally, you recognize the car from the outside. Just sounds a bit different, but it's still our car. It's a Peugeot 208, the chassis. And the electric drivetrain is the one-make drivetrain of the whole World Championship. So we all got the same battery, the same engines, and basically on chassis side and suspension side, we are completely free to do whatever we want.
Of course, it's fun to be the first permanent female driver in the World Rallycross Championship. But to be honest, I always see myself as a driver against other drivers, so it's not really something that I'm focusing on. But of course, if it could inspire maybe young girls to get into the sport, that would be really nice.
You have suddenly much more power. The torque in these electric cars is huge.
It's different for now. Like, a lot of things are easier and more precise. Like, the settings are incredibly precise. When you ask an electric engine to do 1%, it will do exactly 1%. When you have a turbo engine, you could never even think in these terms. But now, yeah, it's incredibly precise. But so we're going to be able to set the car up, I think, much better than we've ever had before, but we haven't really yet. So like, we are very early in this. This is only the first race. We had the first 2 laps down there now, and both me and my brother, we spun down there in the bottom corner because we didn't get the balance right. And yeah, it's not easy, but that's how we're making progress. So we're trying to get our head around this, and hopefully tomorrow we've seen why and we can carry on. Oh, I know why. It was like rear-wheel drive feeling.
The car is for sure still brutal. It's something that I've never tried before. It's so powerful, and that also brings challenges. For me, that I come from the natural Swedish Rallycross Championship with a rear-wheel driven BMW, so it's quite new to have all this power with four-wheel drive and everything. But it's a good challenge. I enjoy it, and I'm very happy with my pace today. So let's push for tomorrow.
We don't have a prop shafts, which makes it a bit different.
The way we make the setup of these cars is depending on the speed. We can set a different balance front to rear. In theory, you could do whatever you want with electric, but we are limited by the regulations. So what we can do is set the front to rear balance depending on how fast we're going. So in that slow bottom corner, had too much rear wheel drive. So when we went on throttle, we lost the rear. But we plug everything into the computer, stick some new numbers into it, and it should be better tomorrow.
Last year I raced 2 races in RX2E, which is the support class for RX1E that we're driving now, and those cars were very fun. It was my first electric experience in motorsport, and you could really feel the instant torque. But compared to these ones, we have the same powertrain, all cars, but you can put it in any chassis that you want, so it's quite free that way. In RX2E, it's the same cars.
There's no sound in the car, so it's also a bit new for everybody, and suddenly you hear noises from the car that which you haven't heard before.
In the old Rallycross regulations, they are pretty much the same, although we changed to a new type of fuel, electric instead of normal petrol. But the regulations stay the same. So since a long time, it's been forbidden to change any motor settings while you're driving. So we will be stuck with the same balance throughout the lap, which is going to make it difficult some places because we need the same balance to work in the launch, on the tarmac, on the gravel, on the jumps. So there is some compromise going to happen, and that's I think part of the show, because we wanted to make it difficult so that mistakes happen and we drivers have a harder time, more or less.
I've also tried the Odyssey 21 in Extreme E and did the rookie test with Akiona Sainz last year. So that was also quite nice to try another electric car, and with a bit more rougher course, you could say. So I've been enjoying my electric experience so far, but this is for sure the most brutal thing I've tried.
We have like an engine in the front and one in the back, and there is no prop shaft between those two. So it's really important to program the power that goes out to the wheels from the front and the rear to get this to be as good as possible, and you know, good on the track. And when you go back on power, you don't want the front wheels to spin or only the rear wheels to spin. So it's a bit learning curve for everybody to understand this and make it as good as possible.
It's very hard to say how much faster it's going to be. It's a little bit heavier, but it's got a lot more power. Already from 0 to 100, it's a lot faster. So there is probably the big change. So if you would put this car next to all the other old cars, we would just be miles ahead going into turn 1. But then on the track, it's hard to say. I don't think we're faster yet than we were last year. But that said, it's only the first event and we've only had a few days. So as I said, I spun down there, and I think that shows how big adjustments we're making and how we're struggling to find our way through these electric settings. So yeah, it's hard to say where we'll end up. I think for the moment we are same or just behind the previous cars, but I am so confident that we will get faster, but still have to do the work.
And there you see also in the back here we have you see the part of the battery, and also the rear engine is down there behind the carbon fiber there.
In any electric car, you've got all that power, but you do add some weight. The battery is heavy, so you have to compensate. This weight is pushing you on through the corner. You have to maybe slow down a little bit, grab the grip, grab the corner, but then once you get on the power, there's so much power and there's no shifting, there's no turbo lag, there's none of that. So on the straights we're going to be much faster, and in the corners, maybe a little bit slower. But it's not that easy because it's heavier, but also the center of gravity has really come down. So I thought the feeling on the chassis would be much bigger difference, but it's actually, I really recognize my car. You can feel it rolling less because it's not so high the weight anymore.
There is some noise coming from the electrical motor as well. There is some kind of noise, electrical noise, and yeah, it's somehow you get a feeling of that as well, and how the wheels are spinning and how the engine is working. So it's not so bad.
So this track in Norway is very legendary in my opinion. I was here last time 6 years ago, so it was quite some time, but I've always wanted to drive here. It has so much elevation, and it's a proper rallycross track with all the tarmac and gravel corners in a great first corner as well.
You hear the electrical engine is revving. So, example, when you are going 150, it's much higher noise compared to when you are like going 60 or 70 kilometers per hour.
But now there is a new element really, and you also what the difference is, and that is that you hear so much more. Now you hear the tire squeal, and we never heard that before. We also hear the chassis touching on landing, for example. We never heard that before. So there's a lot more information coming now that we were just missing before.
I'm very excited for the race tomorrow. Now it's time to get some good sleep, good food in, and do some analysis for tomorrow. But we know we have the pace, so let's push tomorrow and see where the day takes us.
I am enjoying it. I don't enjoy spinning though, like I did today. So right now I'm a bit pissed off, but we're gonna get there. And I just love driving fast cars, and it's a fast car.
Now our goal is definitely to turn this into a full sustainable championship. By going electric, this is a start and kind of already a hygiene factor. But there's much more to come, and we employed several people to work with us on sustainability issues. So there's definitely more to come. It's also that the technology is much better. So the cars already look a lot faster than the old ones. We're looking here at 680 horsepower and cars that go from 0 to 100 in 1.8 seconds. So we will see fantastic races. And as everybody is using the same powertrain, we believe everybody has the same preconditions, and we're sure to have some really close races. So we're looking very much forward to this season. Now, there are definitely no plans to go back from electric to combustion technology. We have now really transformed this championship. So this existing championship, which is there since 1967, into an electric one, and that is the future, and definitely no plans to go back.
So that's the new all-electric World Rallycross Championship. It's fast, it's furious, and it's going to be electric from now onwards. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.